Hello YouTube, Frances here. Thank you for coming back to my channel. If this is your first time here, I bid thee welcome. There is a subscribe button below if you would like to help support this channel by subscribing, and also a bell to be notified as to when I upload more content. I'm coming to you from Ghana country. As such, I acknowledge the Ghana people of the Adelaide Plains as being the traditional custodians of this land. So we have a full moon coming up next week, which will be the 25th of March, and it will also be a lunar eclipse. So normally I sort of type out what I want to talk about, but I've sort of reverted back to my moon book that I write all my notes in, and so I'm just going to be sort of reading from that, or reading what I have been in the process of discovering about this lunar eclipse and full moon. As I say in my other videos that I've done, I'm not an astrologer. I just do have an interest in astrology. And as such, I will acknowledge and link to the astrologers pages that I have looked at in order to prepare for this video. So here in Adelaide, South Australia, the full moon will be taking place, as I said, on March the 5th. That will be at 5:30 p.m. and it'll be in the astrological sign of Libra, which is the scales. Probably almost 2 hours later, starting at 7:21 p.m. and going through to just after 8 p.m., we will have what's called a penumbral lunar eclipse. That means that the moon will be passing through the Earth's outer shadow. So it's not going to be as dark as full lunar eclipse will be, nor will it be as bright as a normal full moon because of the shadow that it's passing through. Depending on where you are in the world, it will be a different timing, or more than likely be a different timing. Go to places like timeanddate.com. That's a free web page where you can just put in your location and it'll actually bring up all the details of the full moon lunar eclipse and other astrological timings, regardless of where you are in the world. So it'll be an astrological sign of Libra. Libra is the scales of justice. And just before I get carried away, when we have eclipses, these usually occur when the moon is either close to the north node or the south node. And in this instance, it will be the south node, which relates to our karmic past. So it will also have an energetics of closure. Full moons are also about closure, something ending, the culmination of something. And with it being in a lunar eclipse as well, it's going to be eclipses almost like full moons on steroids. And solar eclipses at the other end of the scale are like new moons on steroids as well. So it's going to be a little bit more intense. Now, with being in Libra, if you're wanting the degree points, it's 5 degrees 7 minutes. It's the full moon. The lunar eclipse will be 5 degrees 13 minutes. So it's not quite dead on, but it's very close to it. And that's why we have this penumbral eclipse or partial eclipse. It can also be perceived, as I said, as a huge full moon, a full moon on steroids. So it is important to, if you've got your astrological chart, print out. I have on slide this is my chart from Astro Dentist. There's other places on the website that will get internet that will give you free charts. Look to see where 5 degrees of Libra falls, because this will give you a little bit of indication of what may be coming to an end. It's being highlighted as needing to end, to be wrapped up at this full moon. When the moon is in Libra, it also means that the sun is at the opposite side of the sky. No, sorry, the sun is actually, this is the full moon, yes, the sun is on the opposite side of the sky, so it's shining all its energy, it's illuminating something. So the opposite sign of Libra is Aries. The sun is 5 degrees of Aries. And these are also the points or the axis of the nodes this year. We've got the North Node at 16 degrees of Aries. We've got the South Node at 16 degrees of Libra. So Libra, big theme of Libra, not only is it balance because it's the scales, but it relates to relationships, not just personal relationships, but also alliances, partnerships, contracts, any sort of relationship as such that we get into, not only on a personal level, but it could also mean business, countries, governments. So it could be interesting, just sort of like keeping it in your peripheral. Are there contracts? Are there relationships that may be sort of on shaky ground at the moment? They are needing to come to an end. Are there relationships that are wrapping up? They are no longer of benefit to all parties involved. And when we're looking at sort of personal relationships, friendships, intimate relationships, this could be because people spiritually evolve at different rates, and you may have outgrown situations or people, your friendship circle, whatever. It also depends on our soul contracts. We may have sort of like succeeded in working through our soul contract with somebody, so we no longer need to work on those issues, or there may be something in that relationship that we need to revisit or close off for something new to emerge, to appear. So it doesn't necessarily mean completely walking away from relationships, partnerships, contracts, etc. It just means that there may even be a part of these interreactions, should I say, that needs to be revisited or really sort of like figured out. Libra is also connected with people pleasing. It could be that we're wanting to sort of now step into our own sovereignty, step into our own power, and end that people pleasing modality that we may have been operating from. It's also about inner power as well. And this can be highlighted too, because we do have a conjunction between Jupiter, the great expander, and Uranus coming up very early next month. Now, Uranus is sort of the rebel planet, is sort of an individual planet, like it's really focuses on individualization, individuality, and Jupiter will expand all that. These two planets will be conjunct in Aries. So Aries is a fire sign, so it's going to be like at the beginning, there's going to be a lot of new energy coming up. And already this energy could be influencing this full moon. Another astrological happening at the moment in relation to this eclipse is that Venus, planet of love and relationships, but also our values, is conjunct with Saturn. Saturn is the taskmaster, very logical, very practical, like sort of slow things down. So this could actually mean giving further consideration to situations, to the dynamics of relationships, or that foundational stuff, which is Saturn. It could be about looking at our values around our relationship. It can also connect to finances, because Venus is connected with finances as well. It's a planet of wealth. Another interesting point is that we will have 5 planets in Aries. The Sun at 5 degrees, the North Node at 16 degrees, Chiron, the wounded healer, at 18 degrees, Mercury 23, and Eris, which was an asteroid, a little bit like Chiron, is going to be at 4 degrees. So all of these energies are going to be coming into effect at this full moon and also the lunar eclipse. And just keep in mind that eclipses are pivot points. They are wild cards. There's a lot of uncertainty, unknown energy about them. Although a solar eclipse is probably a little bit more bumpy, should we say, than lunar eclipses. It could open up or end things that maybe we haven't been anticipating or expecting, or even start the ball rolling. And the consequences, we usually feel that they are coming out of the blue. We have not been prepared for it, sort of like left of center. And also they relate to more permanent endings. So as we move forward from the lunar eclipse, we are also going to be entering into a higher evolution, especially in relation to spiritual matters. Now, another astrologer, Pippa Kate, who's an Australian astrologer, always says at the full moons, because it's coming to the end of the cycle, look back to the same sign that the new moon was in. So the last time the new moon was in Libra was actually the 14th of October last year, and that was the solar eclipse. So it could be a personal reset for something that started back in October last year in relation to our personal relationships. And if you're like me, as often, as I said, the solar eclipses, which are a little bit more challenging than the lunar eclipse. There's also a hint of, I said, higher octaves, higher frequencies, higher energies. And a lot of this too is connected to the rulership crumbs or path that we follow. Libra, which is the full moon, is ruled by Venus. Venus is at 16 degrees of Pisces conjunct with Saturn at 12. Both of these are ruled or connected with Neptune. Neptune is at 27 degrees of Pisces. Neptune is also squared the galactic center at 27 degrees of Sagittarius. The galactic center is what a lot of astrologers believe that is where our own solar system actually originated from. It's actually the center point of our solar system. So this could also indicate that we are moving through something energetically that is a lot higher, a lot in its frequency, lots more out there that we on our Earth's frequency do not realize yet. However, we feel there's a sensation in it that we are preparing for something bigger. So, and this bigger thing could be a little bit uncomfortable because we do not know, but we need to breathe and we need to trust that there are bigger cosmic energies at play here. There is also a connection with Pluto. Pluto is the lord of the underworld. So something underworldly, something that's shadow-driven, something that we have sort of not been addressing, may actually come up to the surface during this time to be ended once and for all. It's going to be revealing some stuck energy. It could be how we perceive our relationships, especially if we have had more traumatic experiences in relation to relationships in the past. And this is going to be sort of the final push because it's connecting back to Chiron, which is the wounded healer, which is in Aries, and it's all about our identity. Aries is connected with, and there's a big push to completely end something and connected with our own personal identity and relationships, maybe let go of it once and for all, in order for us to then move on and free ourselves up, open ourselves up for new sort of cosmic implants, if you want to see, imprints to come through, new directions, new inspirations, new directions around how we will identify ourselves in relationships. And finally, it is also a sensation that the universe could be pushing us to speak, to verbalize, to vocalize something that initially maybe we weren't sure about voicing our opinions, but we were given the opportunity to put it out there, to step into our own truth. And this is supported by the air signs, which are going to be strongly enforced, especially if you look at your chart. You've got points and air signs between 0 and 9 degrees. So an air sign is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And also if you have planets or signs 0 to 9 degrees of the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Again, could be more of a feeling, sensation in relation to this energy coming up with this full moon eclipse, and also even the lunar eclipse on its own, which will be happening, as I said, a couple of hours after the full moon peak. So all of that is happening on the 25th. Please feel free to put comments below as to, especially if you're feeling any of the energetics already. In particular, with this Jupiter and Uranus conjunction coming up, and I'll be doing another video in relation to what I've discovered about that to share with you. Don't forget to check out the sources that I've used before. Please support their videos and their work as well. And breathe. Full moon, endings, lunar eclipse, intensity, and the cycle will continue. Blessing.